Now we will talk about copper. Okay. So when we talk about the copper, you will see that on copper also one greenish layer get deposited. Okay, greenish layer get deposited. So how this greenish layer get deposited? When copper reacts, okay, when copper reacts with water, carbon dioxide and oxygen, so what is formed? Copper carbonate. Okay, are you seeing here? Copper reacting with water and carbon dioxide and oxygen. So what will be formed here? Copper carbonate and copper hydroxide will be formed. That means a layer, a greenish layer which is formed on copper is due to what? When it comes in contact with water, carbon dioxide and oxygen, then copper carbonate and copper hydroxide layer is formed. Now due to this, it is very important to keep on removing this layer to keep the copper clean. Okay. Now we will talk about the, suppose like we are talking about now silver. Okay. Now when we all know that silver also get converted into black. So how does it get converted into black? Because silver reacts with hydrogen sulfide. Okay, it reacts with hydrogen sulfide and it gives silver sulfide. Okay, so again black color substance can be seen. What happens when silver in air, it reacts with hydrogen sulfide and silver sulfide is formed. Again we can say that silver is corroded. Now next is when aluminium. Okay, when we talk about aluminium, what happens with aluminium? Aluminium reacts with oxygen. Okay, aluminium reacts with oxygen and oxide is formed. Oxide is formed. But this is very useful because when oxide is formed and when intentionally sometimes it is allowed to react or some oxide layer is allowed to get deposited to avoid the further destruction of that particular metal. Okay. So now we are going to discuss about how we can keep all this corrosion away. Okay. So first of all, we have discussed first thing about the paint, varnish and grease. Second, we have discussed about the alloys. Now we will be discussing about the electroplating. Now what is the meaning of this electroplating? As we have read, we have understood this thing before only, that when one metal is being getting eroded, it can be covered, if it is covered by the another metal, okay, which is less reactive, then what will happen? The metal will be saved. Now in electroplating actually what is done? The covering, a metal is covered by the another metal, okay, a metal is allowed to cover another metal. A metal is allowed to cover another metal by the process of electrolysis. Electroplating, I should say, electroplating. Okay. Now electroplating, a metal is allowed to cover another metal by the process of electrolysis. Okay. Now here what is being done? Actually a cell is prepared, okay, and a metal on which the coating has to be done is kept, like cathode and anode is prepared, so electrolysis is prepared and current is allowed to pass, and in this course on the metal which we want the other covering gets covered by this. Okay, say for example, when we talk about gold spoons, okay, that means gold plating, okay, gold plated spoons or gold plated maybe certain necklaces, jewelries which are actually made up of silver, on this other metal, that means gold is being plated so that the silver is safe, it does not get chance to react with oxygen, it does not get chance to react with actually sulfur and thus does not form the sulfur sulfide compounds and it is safe. Okay. Now, next is galvanizing. Now, what is the meaning of galvanizing? Galvanizing means zinc covering on iron. Okay. What is the meaning of galvanizing? Galvanizing means covering of zinc on iron. Okay. Now, we all know that iron gets eroded very fast, it get rust, it gets spoiled or destroyed very fast. So, in this case, what is being done? On iron, the covering of zinc is added. So, what happens actually, how the zinc covers? Now, see, zinc is very reactive, okay, it is more reactive than iron. So, what happens? On iron, it forms a layer of its oxide, zinc oxide, and then thus does not allow the iron to come in contact with the air, moist air. So, in this way, iron is prevented by galvanizing. Okay. Now, next can be tinning. Now, what is tinning? Here a layer of tin, okay, a layer of tin is allowed to get settled on some another metal. Okay. Now, this is done especially with the copper. Okay. Now, what happens in copper? Now, you all might be knowing this. Tinning means kalhai, we say in Hindi kalhai karna hai, okay. So, certain metal which get very fast, like it get destroyed like copper. So, what has to be done? Tin, okay, tin is allowed to be coated on the other metal in a molten state, okay. Actually, what is being done? Tin is converted into molten state, usko पिघलाते हैं and then it is put on the copper, so that now copper is having covering of tin and now it does not comes in contact with the air and water, and so again it can be prevented from the corrosion. So, here even this tinning is used in the tiffin boxes, okay. Why? Because this tinning is not at all poisonous. When it is not poisonous, so even it can be used in the utensils which are generally used in the kitchens for tiffins where we can keep the food, okay. So, this is the way how the corrosion of the metals can be prevented. First is paint, varnish and grease. Second is alloy. In alloy, one metal is allowed to mixed up with some other metal or non-metal, so that its property get changed and then it does not get rust. Electroplating, here one metal is allowed to come on the another metal by the process of the electrolysis, that means one layer get deposited on the another layer, okay. Say for example, the silver spoon is given the coating of the gold. Next is galvanizing. Here what is being done? Zinc coating is done on the iron. Tinning, tin coating is done so that the copper does not get eroded. Okay, now next is anodizing. Now, what is the meaning of anodizing? Anodizing means what happens? See, we have discussed that aluminium, okay. Aluminium reacts with oxygen and aluminium oxide is formed, okay. Now, this I told you that time also that this is allowed to done intentionally sometimes, so that when this aluminum oxide layer is formed on some metal, or even on the aluminum, when the aluminum oxide layer is formed, the further destruction of the aluminum gets stopped. Okay, so what is anodizing? Anodizing is to allow oxide to get deposited on a metal, so that the further destruction of that metal can stop. Okay, so this was all about the chemical property of the metals. Now we will discuss something about the uses of metals as well as non-metals. Okay, so now in this topic we are going to discuss about the uses of metals and non-metals. So we will be discussing about the uses. Okay, so first of all we will start with non-metals. Now when we talk about non-metals, we will be discussing uses of, say for example, hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur, phosphorus, even say graphite, diamond, then silicon, chlorine. So these will be the non-metals which we are going to discuss. Now first of all, to talk with hydrogen. Now when we talk about hydrogen, we all know hydrogen helps in burning. Okay, but what is the use for us, how we can make it useful? So first of all, hydrogen is used in the formation of ammonia. It is also used as fuel. Okay, hydrogen is also used as fuel. It is used in the formation of ammonia. It is also used in other laboratory purpose. It is also used in other laboratory purposes. Okay. Now second is oxygen. We all know the use of oxygen. It is very important for us. We cannot even think to survive without oxygen for more than even few minutes. Okay, because it is useful. This is the only gas which we are taking for breathing. So it is used in respiration, and it is also used in combustion. Okay, a very important part. Without this we cannot exist only. Okay, now next is sulfur. Now sulfur is having a very wide use. It is used in matchsticks. Okay, as like it is having certain explosive kind of nature, so it is also used in various explosive. Okay, it is used in gunpowder. Okay, then it can be used in crackers. In fact, it is also used in making fertilizers. It is having wide range of uses. Okay, it is used in fertilizers, in making rubber, in making certain polymers. Okay, in fact, it is also used in making medicines, cosmetics. So sulfur is showing a wide range of use. Now we talk about phosphorus. Okay, highly reactive. It is used in, it is also having certain explosive kind of nature. So it is used in making crackers, and it is also used in making like some explosive kind of material. Okay, as I have written over there also, like matchsticks and explosive. So even this one is used in making matchsticks. Okay, now next one is carbon. We have discussed carbon exists in two forms. So, carbon is very useful. First of all, it is present in the form of the combined state, carbon dioxide. It combines with oxygen. That means in combined state it is very useful as it is present in the form of the carbon dioxide. It is present in the marble. It is present in the chalk. Okay. So, it is very useful. Now, other uses when we talk about graphite. Graphites, as we all know, we have studied, it is a very good conductor. So, it is used in making electrodes in dry cell. Okay. Then it is also used, graphite is also used in making pencil lead. Okay. Now, the second part is diamond. Now, diamond, we all know it is used in making jewelry. It is also used, as we all know, it is the hardest substance. It is also used in making cutters. Okay, we have discussed this, that it is also used by the eye surgeons to use a knife to remove cataract. At the corner, at the edge of that diamond is being placed. So, it is very useful. Doctor use this with a very great care actually, because it is very hard. So, it is used in making jewelry, it is used in making cutter, it is also used by the eye specialists or the eye surgeons. Okay. Now, even we can talk about silicon. Now, what is the use of silicon? It is used in making polymer, it is used in making alloy. Okay. Now, chlorine. Now, what is the use of chlorine? See, chlorine is used as a cleaning agent, we all know. Okay. It is used in a cleaning purpose, like in like swimming pool also we know that chlorine is being added in the water. Even in the water filter pumps the chlorine is being added. Okay. Even it is used to make hydrochloric acid. Now, this hydrochloric acid is also like very useful for cleaning toilets, okay, and used in laboratories. Even in fact, I can write in hydrogen also, that hydrogen is used in making hydrochloric acid. Okay. So, these are the uses of the non-metals. To revise it once again, like hydrogen in making hydrochloric acid, in making ammonia, used as fuel, used in a laboratory, like various laboratory purposes. Oxygen, very important for respiration and combustion. Sulfur, it is very explosive kind of material. So, it is used in matchstick, explosive material, gunpowder, crackers, fertilizers, rubbers, polymers, even medicines and cosmetics. Then phosphorus, again it is also very explosive kind, it reacts very often. So, used in crackers and matchsticks. Then carbon, it exists in two forms, graphite and diamond. Both are very useful. Graphite is used in electrodes and dry cell and also in pencil. Diamond is used in jewelry and cutter. Silicon is used in polymers and also to make alloys. Chlorine as a cleaning agent and hydrochloric acid. Okay. Now, we are going to talk about the uses of the metals. Okay. Now, actually when we talk about the uses, when we talk about our body, in our body both metals and non-metals are present, okay, and these are equally important for us. Like we talk about carbohydrates, we talk about fats, we talk about proteins. In all this, what is being used? All these metals and non-metals are used. Okay, in chlorophyll, magnesium is present, in hemoglobin, iron is present. So, we cannot say that even like even our body is made up of certain metals and non-metals, like these metals and non-metals play very important role in existence of our body also. So, when we talking about metals, we will be discussing about iron, copper, gold, gold, and then we will be talking about mercury, we will be talking about zinc, we'll be talking about tin, we'll be talking about magnesium, we'll be talking about chromium. Okay, to begin with, first of all, we'll talk about iron, Fe. Now, iron is very important metal, as it is present in our body also. Like when we talk about hemoglobin, okay, so iron is very important part of hemoglobin, or in fact we can say it is a major constituent of hemoglobin. Okay, and when we talk about in general, we all know iron is very useful in construction purpose. Okay, when we talk about bridges, or it is about buildings, okay, engines, machines, like even no need to mention this, like it is having a wide range, it is very useful. Okay, now when we talk about copper, we all know copper is a very good example. It is a very good conductor of electricity. Okay, so it is used in making wires and or electric appliances. Okay, then copper is also used in making utensils. Nowadays we rarely use aluminium or iron or such kind of metal. All pens and all these are mainly use of utensils. This utensils are made up of copper only. Okay, now next when we talk about, suppose if we take silver, I will take silver, gold together. Silver and gold is very precious, these are very precious metal, and these are used in making jewelry. Okay, so these are used in making jewelry. These are also used in making utensils. It is for sure that these utensils we are not using daily, the utensils which are made up of silver and gold, but even though we use silver and gold utensils for the puja purposes, or sometimes like the spoon or like little plates, so we use gold and silver for making jewelry and utensils. Even platinum is very useful. Even platinum is having a very great, very brilliant shine, silver color shine, and so even platinum, and even it is least reactive, it does not react easily, and so even platinum is used to make jewelry. Okay, now sometimes silver is also used to make wires. Okay, now next is mercury. Okay, now what is the use of mercury? Mercury is used in making thermometers. Okay, this all we know, that mercury is used in making thermometer, but I would also like to tell you that why it is used in making thermometer. First of all, it is having a shine. Okay, it is having a shine. It is having a shine. Second thing, it expands and contracts. Okay, it doesn't get stick. Second thing I can write, that it doesn't get stick to a particular point, that after getting expanded, after going up, it just gets stick over there. No, it doesn't get stick over there, it automatically comes down as soon as the temperature comes down. Then it is visible. Okay, it is visible also. Okay, it doesn't stick, it expands. I can write here, it expands and contracts very nicely. Okay, in a good manner. So we all know that mercury is used in thermometer, but I think even we should know that why mercury is used in thermometer, because it is having a good shine, it is visible. Okay, it doesn't stick, it is visible just now I said, and it expands and contracts regularly. Like it is not a case that after using it once and twice it stops expanding, it doesn't goes up only. No, it is doing this in a regular manner. Okay, now next I can take zinc. Just now before this we have discussed that zinc is used in galvanizing. Again, galvanizing is a process by which iron can be prevented from the corrosion. So zinc is used to cover the iron with, so that it can be prevented. Okay. Then tin, of course in making certain kind of like tin boxes, like when we talk about the oil containers and all these kind of things. So it is used for making containers, and also in tinning. It is also used in making alloys. Okay. Now next is magnesium. Now what is magnesium used as? Magnesium, first of all I would say that it is very important part of chlorophyll. Okay. Magnesium is very important part of chlorophyll, and it is even used in making alloys. Okay. Now next is chromium. Okay, when we talk about chromium, and even I can say nickel. Okay. So why and where it is used? It is again used in making alloys. Which alloy? Just now we have studied stainless steel. So chromium and nickel are used there. Okay. So this was about our uses of metals. So here we have iron. We have a big list of iron where it is used. So naturally when we talk about, it is present in hemoglobin, it is used in making construction, building, engines, machine, vehicles, gadgets. Okay. Now copper, it is very good conductor of electricity, and it is used in making wires, again electrical gadgets. Okay. And even utensils, nowadays we use in kitchens copper utensils only. Okay. As it is a very good conductor of heat also. Now when we talk about silver and gold and even platinum, these are very shiny and precious metal, and these are used to make utensils. Sometimes few like silver and gold are used sometimes, okay, for utensils and mainly for jewelry. Now mercury, it is used in thermometer. Even I explained the reasons why it is used in making thermometer. Now zinc, zinc is used in galvanizing. Tin, it is used in making containers and tinning, and also in making alloys. Then magnesium, it is present in chlorophyll, and chromium, it is used in making chromium, and nickel, it is used in making alloys. So students, this was all about the metals and non-metals. In this chapter we have studied first of all like how elements, what is matter, okay, and how matter exists. It exists in the form of the elements. Then how elements are present, they are like how many elements are there, they exist in the form of the metals and non-metals. And then we started with the metals and non-metals. First of all we studied the physical property of the metals, then chemical properties of the metals, then how we can preserve, how we can save the metals from getting corrosion. Okay. Then we read what is corrosion, how we can save it. Then at the last, this was the last topic. This this topic is dealing with the uses of metals and non-metals. Thank you.